This is 5 on your side at 5. Focused on you.
Freeze it! Arms!
Now at 5, people on both sides of the river showing gratitude and respect for those who have served our country. Good evening, I'm Brent Solomon. Today, organizations all across our area are holding events, ceremonies, and parades to honor vets on this Veterans Day. President Biden marked the day with a wreath-laying ceremony at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. The president also gave remarks at the Arlington National Cemetery, calling veterans, quote, the greatest fighting force in the history of the world. Closer to home now, veterans are getting some special recognition in University City. As the city celebrates 100 years since it opened its first parks, leaders are also paying tribute to those who serve our country. 5 on your side's Travis Cummings explains.
Your country asked, who will stand guard tonight while your neighbors rest? And you answered, I will.
The stars were all aligned on Olive Boulevard in University City for a special salute.
Anybody who has been a veteran or who is in active duty, God love you.
Our nation's heroes receiving honor on top of an honor.
And we have been celebrating our parks for the past year. The committee that put this together decided that the culmination of our celebration should be a celebration of our veterans.
Another centenarian worth celebrating? 100-year-old U-City resident and World War II veteran Ethel Miriam.
1943. I was sworn in on June the 16th, my birthday, my 20th birthday.
Just one more.
And I left 3 days later.
She was a woman accepted for volunteer emergency service and started out as a storekeeper.
I got my degree. My commanding officer at the Reserve Center said, would you like to be an officer? And I said, no, sir. And he said, you're going to be.
Miriam went through every rank until she made captain.
It was something.
It was something.
It was the smartest thing I ever did to join the service because I got my education.
Veterans Memorial Fountain here in U-City was constructed in 1936, then rededicated to all veterans in 1986. And this year, the community is being reminded again that veterans are here.
Well, some veterans speak about being disrespected when they came home. I experienced being isolated and not really having anybody to talk to who understood my experience.
Today's a chance to remind them they're forever stars. Travis Cummings, 5 on your side.
And here's a fun fact. University City opened its earliest parks in 1923 with the help of a bond issue the prior year. And that's when leaders came up with a plan to name parks after retired mayors. In downtown St. Louis, the annual Veterans Parade made its way down Market Street. This was the scene earlier this morning. And the 5 on your side live bus was there. Along with dozens of veteran groups and local organizations, the parade ended with a National Guard Hall of Fame induction ceremony, as well as a car show. Well, in the Metro East, a parade took over downtown Edwardsville just a couple of hours ago. Edwardsville American Legion Post 199 hosted its annual Veterans Day Parade. This was earlier this afternoon. The Scott Air Force Base's Color Guard led that parade. And happening right now, an after party is underway at the Legion on Route 157. Time now for your weather first forecast. In just a few moments now, we're going to get a live look outside. What a chilly fall Veterans Day. But we have a pleasant week ahead. Meteorologist Gary Frank now with more. Hey, Gary.
Yeah, good evening, Brent. You know, those Legions and those VFWs are popping today. A good day for it here on Veterans Day. We see a nice sunset as well here at 504 here in Arnold. Nice colors, clouds around. Otherwise, it's been a relatively pleasant day as we look at a full screen image of that. We started off this morning in the mid-30s, even in the city. It's one of our coldest mornings we've had. Farmington, a hard freeze in the upper 20s as well as some other spots, starting off at Chesterfield with 26 degrees. It was cold. I don't think it's going to be quite as cold this morning or tomorrow morning, but still, I do expect that it is still going to be another chilly one. Clouds have obviously increased. You could see that there are a couple of sprinkles. I wouldn't rule them out the rest of the evening, but I think temps are holding steady. They're in the low 50s or upper 40s, depending on where you are, like you're in Litchfield and Effingham, even in Mount Vernon at 46 degrees. We're going to drop a whole lot. We're going to stay pretty steady, but temps will continue to fall. And once we clear out past midnight fully, that's when things change. We are highlighting a pretty steady week ahead. There's not a lot going on, obviously, but it doesn't feel like November, where we should be when we're expecting rain and if it'll ever get cold again, at least in the afternoon.
All right, we're staying forward to that. Thank you, my friend. New information now on a deadly shooting inside of a North County barber shop. Today, police identified the victim as Justin Welch. Police charged Nolan Ryan Thomas for the deadly shooting inside of the E-Class salon. That's on West Florissant Avenue. Police say Thomas got into an argument with Welch, punching him in the face before shooting him. Thomas is being held on a $500,000 cash-only bond. New at 5, developing now out of downtown St. Louis, someone broke into a travel bus for a women's basketball team that was visiting town for a game. It happened at 2 o'clock Friday afternoon when the team stopped at the Gateway Arch to pose for a team photo. The Anderson University team's bus was parked between the arch and the riverboats. Players say they were only gone for 20 minutes. They ended up winning their game a few hours later to advance to the championships.
It was a very emotional day for us. Obviously, none of our kids have been through that. I've never been through it. And just to focus on basketball for 2 hours was really impressive. And for them to come together and do that was incredible.
The thieves stole several electronic devices, personal documents, and numerous basketball jerseys. A family member found the team jerseys in a nearby dumpster, and some of the players were able to track their stolen equipment to Bell Fountain Neighbors, Missouri. We'll have much more on this story tonight at 10. Well, safety is always top of mind, no matter where you live. One South City neighborhood is taking things into their own hands in an effort to deter crime. 5 on your side's Mercedes McKay takes us to Dutchtown.
We cannot wait for somebody to come rescue us.
Inside the Neighborhood Innovation Center on Saturday morning in Dutchtown, a group of residents and business owners came together for one purpose.
We're focused on not only preventing crime or solving crime, but also looking at the root causes of crime.
For the second year in a row, the Dutchtown Community Improvement District hosted a safety summit.
Crime is a societal problem. It's an economic problem. It's a cultural problem.
Chairperson Kaya Alfiero says speakers from several different organizations were there to offer a comprehensive exploration into what safety means, from personal to technological to community-wide.
We're not going to stop all crime. We need people to understand that there are things we can do.
The Dutchtown Community Improvement District has been focused on cameras. As you can see, the flock camera behind me, those were implemented over the past few years, as well as they have expanded their curated camera network. Well, now they're adding a third peg to that, the Community Camera Partnership.
That's a camera registry that will help us to help the police even more than what we are already doing.
Organizers like Alfiero are hopeful all these tools together can help their neighborhood identify crimes faster and provide information to law enforcement quicker.
I live here, I have business here. I'm affected by crime in our neighborhood just as everybody else is.
But it's a problem that can't be solved on its own.
It really takes all of us and being joined together as a community.
In Dutchtown, Mercedes McKay, 5 on your side.
And Alfiero says crime is down this year compared to last year in her neighborhood, and she believes some of the things they've implemented after their first crime summit last year helped with that reduction. Right now, an area coffee shop is shuttered. Brew to Loom on Del Mar Boulevard shared earlier this week that it had to temporarily close due to an environmental hazard. Owners say they found lead contamination. They're now working with multiple groups to address it. As they figure out alternative options, they do have a GoFundMe up during their closure. You can find a link on our website, ksdk.com. Well, the House ended its session Thursday with no action on extending the Invest in Kids program. The scholarship was actually designed to help kids in poverty gain access to private schools. Former Governor Rauner signed off on that program. That was back in 2017. Well, critics said it used public funds to promote religious teachings, including discriminating against the LGBTQ community. Republicans vowed to try and revive that program again next spring.
We will be failing thousands and thousands of low-income families throughout this state and ending their educational opportunity in their current schools. The majority of Illinoisans support this program.
The program is set to expire at the end of the year. We continue our coverage of local politics every Sunday night on The Record. Political editor Mark Maxwell has a preview for tomorrow's show.
When can St. Louis County start to spend that RAM settlement money? County Executive Sam Page comes on the record. What did the election results this year say about what's in store for 2024? Political analyst Anita Mannion helps us break it all down on the record Sunday night after Sports Plus.
Well, on this Veterans Day, we're taking a look at how state taxes on marijuana sales are going back into the community to help vets. The Missouri Department of Health says to date, roughly $27 million of tax money generated from marijuana have been allocated to Missouri Veterans Commission workers. And that money helps them care for thousands of veterans all across the state. Laura Bercheski explains.
Missouri Veterans Commission Executive Director Paul Kirchhoff says he's served in the Army for 33 years and truly understands how important veteran services are.
For me, this is continuing that service, that dedication to our nation, to our state and nation, and to those that I served with.
This year, the commission received $13 million from medical marijuana taxes. Kirchhoff says the commission oversees 5 veteran cemeteries, has officers across the state who help connect veterans to services, and cares for elderly veterans.
We'll use the funding that we receive from both the medical and the adult use to keep our homes, the 7 veterans homes that we have throughout the state. It'll help with their operations. So it goes directly into maintaining our existing operations within those facilities.
Mint Dispensary in St. Peters is also helping veterans out on the other side of the transaction with a discount offered every day on products they say have changed the lives of local veterans.
We do 22% off just to bring awareness, especially you lose 22 veterans a day from post-traumatic stress disorder. So we decided to shine light on that the best we can and give our thanks and our gratitude for all the veterans.
There's things that the military wore out.
We ran into Navy veteran Mike Rome at the dispensary. He says cannabis products make a difference for his shoulder pain.
I mean, it does definitely kill the pain, ever since the opiate epidemic, it's not worth even trying to get pain pills anymore, so this is a good alternative.
And money is also starting to come in from the recreational side. The Veterans Commission, Public Defender's Office, and the Department of Health all received roughly $1.3 million this year. All right, Gary Frank promised us a closer look at his weather first forecast. The thing is, it's November and it really doesn't feel like it.
Doesn't feel like it. We're above normal, and we know it's going to get cold at some point.
Yeah.
At least we think so, right? By default, when the sun is not up as much, and we typically work our way toward winter, but we're not feeling any of that right now. It's as sunny as can be as we look at Arnold, even as the sun sets. It's a really nice sunset. So I punched it up for you again on the big screen because it looks really, really nice. Clouds have started to increase throughout the last few hours, but the sun has been out. It was a little breezy today. I think tomorrow was less breezy. We have clouds that'll settle in, and this rain is kind of hitting a wall of drier air. That's one of the reasons that we kind of had a cooler day for us for the most part, but clouds have increased a little bit. As we look at the crows are back. Temps right now 52 degrees. We have an east-southeast breeze at 6 miles an hour, and when the crows are back, the seasons are changing, but our normals are pretty close to it. It's been the first time in a while that we've been pretty close to normal both in the afternoon and in the morning, so we expect that. Overall, though, I think over the next few hours, we'll see those clouds be around. It won't allow us to drop quite as quickly, but when they clear out, we'll see our temps fall back into the mid-30s overnight. So expect mid to upper 30s in the city. Once again, low 30s, upper 20s outside of the city. I think you're going to start off with some frost again. Don't be surprised with another thick blanket of frost in some cases. But tomorrow, I think we're going to improve. We're not only starting off on the warm side, in some cases in the mid-50s already. We're in the low 60s by the afternoon. I think we top out at 62, 63 degrees. So far, we still have seen our temperatures stay on the warmer side as we continue to see our average temperatures rising, but we have not had rain whatsoever, and that's going to be a key component along with the warm air. Overall, though, anytime I think that we see this west to east flow, that typically means any storm system that moves in from the Pacific should move in here. A lot of the times that hasn't been the case, but there's really not much going on. And I think for the most part, we're going to see this high settle in that warms us up a little bit, and that keeps us on the mild side. Beyond that, though, I think we're starting to see signs that things may cool down a little bit for a brief period early next weekend, and it warms back up. And then I think there's finally a sign that things may rain a little bit. Overall, though, total rainfall through next week is less than impressive. I at least have this over 0.01, and here's why. I think we have our next chance that arrives Friday into Saturday, and this is because of that front that kind of drags the chance for rain. I think this looks more impressive than it probably will be until I'm sold otherwise, but it's at least our best bet to get the ground wet again. So you have a few days to rake the leaves. Temps in the mid-60s here overall. Temps coming up overnight as well, near 70 for a couple of days in a row, pretty warm. And then even when it cools down, we're back to normal by next weekend.